Alright, so sorry about that interruption. So we're going to get back to this Asus model GX531GX. Okay, so again, as I was showing for this cable, as you can see this white part, you can actually pull it up. So to pull that up, you just use your fingernails. I try and avoid pry tools because you can only do like one side at a time. So basically you just pull this up and then you can pull this cable out. So to put it back, it's probably going to be a little bit tricky. You'll have to put this cable first since it's longer, and then after that you can kind of push this connector back down. Okay, so that's how you remove that part. And let me see here. So this is actually speakers, and then this one is the LED board. So in case you're wondering what these connectors do. Okay, so now we got that. Let's open this up. Alright, and then be careful. As you can see, they have the cables running along here. These designs are kind of always interesting to me because I feel like it's kind of dangerous, because as you can see when you open and close it, the cables like constantly open, they move back and forth, and usually I see that can cause damage, but that's how they designed this thing. So okay, so now that we got that open, we'll continue removing this front bezel. Oh, there's a lot of magnets in this thing. Okay, so the top part, again, you pull down on this base plate and then you kind of pull up on the top piece. Okay, this should just pop out just like this. Okay, so there you go. So it looks like all the components are in the palm rest area. So this base plate looks like it'll come out. Actually, the components are attached to the base plate. So when you pull it, just be careful. You can have it up like 90 degrees like this, or open. Okay, and then you'll probably have to use a pry tool on these parts here. Oops, I don't know if I can show this on camera because my camera's in the way now. But yeah, basically have it up like that, and then you can use the pry tool here, and then since the little clips are here, okay, so you use the pry tool in this and then you pull it so that way it lifts this part out. Let me see if I can show this on camera. I don't know. I will try. Okay, so basically like this, pry tool in and then pry this part up and that part out. Okay, so as you can see, it pops out just like that. Okay, and yeah, you will have to have the screen open like 90 degrees or more just so this part can get out of the way. And be very careful when you're opening this because there's likely a bunch of cables underneath that you don't want to rip. Okay, so let's see here. Now that I got those parts out, let's open this up and see. Again, you have to be very careful. Let's see, something is holding on to it, so I don't want to just lift it up right away. Let's see here. I don't see any other screws holding it, but something is definitely... Okay, I see what's going on. So, sorry, you can't really see here. But basically, they have the keyboard wire here. They use a double stick adhesive on it, so to remove that, you're going to need like a small thin tool, and you're going to have to kind of lift this. Actually, it's not the adhesive, so what is holding this? Let me look at it and then I'll show you once I see what's going on. I think it is an adhesive, but I don't know if I can show this. It feels like there's an adhesive or something pulling on this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so be very careful because this part can just yank out. So here you can see all these cables in here. Alright, I'm not going to be able to show this on camera because of the way it is. Or let me see, I'll pick up the camera and show you. But I have to be careful. Okay, so as you can see in here, so I can't really get it at the right angle to show this, but there's a little clip holding this cable, so you have to flip that up. Alright, then you can pull this cable out just like that. And then the keyboard, there's another one, same thing, flip this Oops, sorry. Flip that up. Alright. I don't know if I'm getting it. Be very careful. It's hard to tell if I'm... This is why I use fingernails, because I can feel what I'm grabbing, so I don't accidentally grab the other components. Okay, so you gotta flip this piece up. Sorry, I don't know if you can see it. Man, these cables are all in the way. Okay, I'm gonna remove the other one first. So let's remove this cable. Hopefully it's not flipping my video around. But, okay. So, flip this one up. I know it's not in focus, sorry. Flip that latch up, and then you can pull that out. Okay, and now I can reach this one a bit better. To flip this latch. Oh, let me see actually. Oh, no wonder why it wasn't coming out. So this one, the latch, you actually flip the white latch forward. Okay, so there's this latch, you flip it down. Okay, and then you can remove that. There we go. So that's how you remove the whole keyboard palm rest assembly. So let me show you what's underneath. Let me put the camera back up here. Sorry, hopefully, okay, there we go. So here we can see this one was having some noisy fan issues. As you can see, there's dust. I even like blew this whole thing out and there's still dust in it. So I just take a toothbrush and then kind of brush it all out. Okay. Alright, let me get my other blowing tool. Okay. So I have this other tool to help blow the dust out. Usually I won't do this in my office. I'll try and take it outside. But just to show on camera, yeah. So basically I use this. As you can see, it's pretty good. Alright. So here you can see this cable is for, the touchpad. This is for the keyboard backlight, and this is for the keyboard itself. Okay, so that's what all those cables are for. Alright, now we'll open it back up and see what we got inside. So here we got more of the fans, so we'll clean that out. Okay, clean that out. It's all dusty. So these fans were kind of noisy, so most likely I'm going to have to take it apart and see if I can repair the fans. But let's see here. So it doesn't sound noisy right now. So it's only noisy when it's on, but I might have to take it apart anyways and clean it up. So, and maybe redo the thermal paste for them. Okay, so let's see. So you got the wireless card. It is soldered down to the board, so you can't change the wireless card. That's kind of a dumb design. You got the SSD. This is a M.2 NVMe SSD. So to remove that, you will have to undo this latch here. Remove this cable. Oh, to be safe, it's kind of this. You already had to take a whole bunch of stuff out, but the main thing is with the screen cable. If you are going to mess with it, you want to disconnect the battery. So the battery is right here, and to disconnect it, I usually just pry it up like on the sides here. So let's see here. There's nothing holding it down. So try and hold the board down so it doesn't flex up too much, and then pry this out just like that. Okay, so that's how you pry up the battery. Again, I like to use my fingernails because I can feel how much force is being put. If you use pry tools, you might pry the wrong thing and damage something. So that's that. Alright, and let me see here. So the keyboard has a bunch of like cat hair in it too. The power button, it's not a physical button on the keyboard, so the button is actually right here. So to drain the power after removing the battery, you just press and hold this little nub here right below the foam. Okay, and then just press and hold that for a few seconds. Okay, once you do that, then you should be able to remove this stuff. So it looks like if you take the fans out, you will want to remove the LEDs first, because if you just rip this thing out, you're probably going to damage something. So as far as the screen goes, if you're going to remove it, there's 2 screws here, and then there's another 2 screws back here holding the screen hinges down. So if you are going to remove that, yeah, that's how you would do that. You'd have to take out these cables and then also the LCD cable here. The LCD cable here looks like they just taped it down. So to remove that, you would have to peel this up. And it looks like the cable runs underneath here. So the fans spin okay, it's just that they're noisy. I'm kind of wondering if I should even risk taking that out because I don't think their computer overheated. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna remove that. So let's see here. But basically, if you were to do it, I have other videos. I don't want to remove that because it's gonna avoid a warranty. If you take this sticker out, yeah, they'll know. So, but basically, if you redo the thermal paste, there's a lot of videos on how to do it. But you take out all these screws. Make sure to take out all the screws holding the fans down. There's another one up here, and then you'll have to take out the power button board up here. Yeah, oh, I forgot to show the SSD. So you flip up that little latch, and then once you do that, you can pull this cable out. Be careful with it, okay? And then you can take the SSD out and change it here. So when you take the screw out, it'll pop up slightly at an angle, just wiggle it out, and then to put the new one, you just put it again slightly at an angle and push it back down, and then put the screw. Okay, and this USB board with the audio jack is removable. Okay, when you put this back, make sure this latches up, and then just slide it back in the slot, and then push this latch back down. Okay, there is the CMOS battery here, so to remove that, you just, again, use your fingernails, kind of wiggle it, and then you can pull it out. I don't want to take it out because I don't want to reset all their BIOS settings and everything. But yeah, so the LCD cable, just like a lot of the other laptops, you just peel this tape up and then you can wiggle and peel this out. The battery is held in with 2 screws down here, sorry. So once you take those 2 screws out, the whole battery should just lift out. Yeah. Okay, and I think that's all there is to this, since the wireless antennas you can't remove, or the wireless card you can't remove. The wireless antennas are in the screen, so if you wanted to remove the antennas to take out the screen, you just go towards the back of the tail of the antennas and pop it up. It'll pop right out. Don't try and pry from the front or you'll damage it. And then to put them back, you just line them up, make sure it's not moving around when you run your hand across the top, and then push it back down. The fan connectors are underneath the heatsink, so you can't really remove the fans without removing that. Let me see here. They might have designed this so that you can change the, or not change the fan, but pull the fan out without having to take the whole thing apart. So let me try that. So let's switch back to the PH0 or J0 screwdriver, whichever one you have. And then there's 2 screws here, and then this fan has 2 screws. I'm going to try on one just to see if it's doable. I think this one, oh, that one has more tape on it, so I'll try this one first. But if this isn't doable, then you're most likely going to have to remove the whole heatsink, which is kind of going to be a pain and will void your warranty. So yeah, and then if you need help with how to do the thermal paste and things like that, just let me know. I have videos on it. Let's see here. So this, I'm just checking if it's even possible. Okay, there's another screw underneath this flap. It looks like this tape, they partially already cut it to make it so if you peel it up, you'll accidentally, I don't know if it's just so you can get to the screw or if they did it on purpose so you accidentally tear the whole piece of plastic so they know you opened it. But there's 1 screw here, and then there was the 2 screws there. So I don't know if there's any other screws holding it down. Possibly. Let's see here. So I'm going to try and peel this tape up without tearing it and see what I can find underneath. Okay, so this tape I'm going to peel up just from the copper end so that way I don't have to peel it completely off. Now let's see if it releases or not. Oh no. Oh wait, okay. I thought they made that a whole piece. Okay, so as you can see, the fan is coming up. I think there's another screw down here, so you will have to peel this thing off. Just be careful with it. So I'm going to try peeling from the bottom here first, just to see if I can get to the screw without taking everything out. So let's see here. Oh, they tucked the tape. Okay, so you can access the screw here without ripping the whole cable off. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, so there's so far 4 screws holding the fan down. And then the only other thing is the cable here is attached underneath the motherboard, but yeah, so as you can see, you can lift the fan out, and there was a huge hairball in there. So, and that's even after I kind of blew the whole thing out with air. So yeah, so it looks like this design is actually not too bad. If you wanted to clean the fan out, you can just take those screws. Sorry for taking you through this whole video if you were just trying to clean out your fans. But it looks like cleaning out the fans isn't too bad on this model. You just have to know where the screws are and everything, how to get to it. And be careful with the cable there, you don't want to damage it. The only thing is, yeah, that's not removable. But I was hearing a high-pitched noise after cleaning it. It was most likely rubbing against that giant hairball. So that will hopefully fix that issue. Okay, yeah, I don't want to undo the thermal paste and then void all the warranties just so I can clean this dust out. So it's nice that they made a way to access it that way. Alright, and then just clean this out. Okay, and if you're curious, this thing is called Giotto's or something, and it's like this rocket air blower thingy. Okay, so now that we got all that dust out and everything, make sure I get all the little clumps. Okay, we're just getting some cat hair stuck in there. Alright, so once you get that, again, just be careful with these, the wires, you don't want to damage them. And then flip it back over. Okay, and then just remember to put back all the screws. So make sure to get this plastic back underneath once you're done. But yeah, we'll put this screw first. Okay, so it looks like cleaning out the fan is pretty simple. That's pretty much all there is to this model that it looks like. I don't know if there's anything underneath the motherboard, but since they just wanted me to clean out the fans and get it from not overheating or not running too hot, then that's pretty much all there is to this job. I don't want to take out more things and risk damaging anything, so unless I have to, I'm gonna leave it as is. Alright, usually you don't want to redo the thermal paste unless or you don't need to redo the thermal paste unless it's hitting temperatures where it's shutting itself off, which is usually around 100 degrees Celsius. So once the computer reaches 100 degrees Celsius, they usually have fail-safe in there that it will shut the computer off. And but once it reaches that temperature, it usually cooks the thermal paste and it can make it turn like very solid, like a hard plastic. So if that does happen, then you will want to redo your thermal paste. Okay, so as far as cleaning the fans go and everything, it looks like you just have to remove the 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then once you remove those 4 screws, oh, you also want to remove the screw here and undo this cable there. And once you undo that, then you can actually take out the fan and clean it up. So the design's actually pretty nice as far as cleaning out the fans goes. So yeah, okay, so make sure you put down the plastic pieces, and again, this piece that was tucked in, you want to try and tuck it back in if you can. Okay, just use like a needle and then push it forward and it tucks in just like that. Alright, and then this connector, grab the little brown plastic part, you can pull it back and then you can slide this back in for the LED. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on the other side. I believe it's pretty much the same. The only problem is they have this foil thing here, so it's going to be kind of tough to lift this out. I believe this is like aluminum that keeps its shape, so if you bend it, it'll keep the creases in it. But yeah, pretty much you have to peel this up. I guess you don't have to peel it all the way out, but this one they'll definitely know that you did something if you peel this off. But I believe you have to. It's the only way you can get underneath the little fan screw. Okay, so there's one more fan screw under here. I'm peeling this up kind of as slowly as I can so I don't cause any permanent issues or tear it. Okay, so once you get that, as you can see, it's like aluminum, so it kind of just stays up like that. And then you can get underneath here. I think this is a screw. Let me make sure. Okay. Oh, it's kind of tough. This one doesn't have an easy peel piece. Okay, so once you get that up, alright, you can see the screw here. We'll remove this one. Alright, so this one, just like the other one, should have also 4 screws. So 1, 2, oops. Okay, and then 3, 1 is here. It's slightly underneath the plastic, but not really. Depending how they installed yours might be covered by the plastic. But yeah, and then again, underneath this piece, there's probably a screw there as well. I don't see it, but you're gonna have to peel up this plastic to find out. This one, it looks like they kind of covered it more. So one way, the nicest way I found to get rid of, or to lift up the tape, is between the copper part and the fan. There's a little gap, so you can actually lift there. Okay. And once you get underneath that, then you can peel it. There we go. And then there's the screw right there. Hopefully you can see. Okay, so there we go. So we got that screw. And then now the fan should come out just like before. Again, make sure you remove that screw up there and disconnected this cable. Alright, so here you can see more hairballs. Look at that. I tried blowing it out with a more powerful air blower, but it looks like the hairballs just stayed. So we'll throw those away. Okay. Okay, get that out, and then brush this off. So the fan blades also have like a bunch of dust on it that's coming out as I brush it. Okay. I can use this to kind of blow it out. Okay, and that should be good as far as heat goes. So there we go. Now we will put this back. Okay, just like this. Be very careful with that. Alright. And then another thing, when I put the screws, usually I won't put them too tight. I'll put the 4 screws and then I'll kind of pull it as close as I can to the heatsink just to get a better seal. So yeah, that's one thing I didn't really mention. I just do it by, I don't know, comes natural to me now. So as you can see with the screw in there, it kind of still wobbles around. So that's why I just put them loosely first and then make sure that it's aligned properly before screwing it down completely. This one screw is going to go on top of the plastic, so you have to make sure to pull the plastic out. I use a little needle or thumbtack to kind of hold the little tabs. Okay, then I can lift it just like that. Alright. And then back to the last one. Probably have to use the needle. Okay, there we go. So lift up that flap. So as you can see with the 4 screws loosely, it still moves. So I kind of keep it all the way to the corner just to make sure that it gets a better seal. Okay, and then tighten down the screws. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to that. So I will now just put these back. Clean that cap here out. Alright, put that connector back in. Okay. And then once that connector's in, put the little latch back down. Alright, make sure to put these little black plastic covers back over. You actually, oh yeah, you do have to remove these. I was gonna say you probably don't have to, but you do because the screws Okay, so then we can put that little plastic cover back over it. Make sure all the screws are tightened. Okay. Alright, and then once you do that, you can put this back down. Again, this part, it's aluminum, so it's gonna keep the dents. You can't really make it, I mean, they'll know that you opened it because the aluminum just bends. There's no way to make it completely smooth again. So, yeah. Okay, so hopefully that won't void any warranties. There's no warranty sticker that says your warranty will be void if you do that. So, yeah. But other than that, once you do all of that, that's pretty much it to clean the fans. I'm just going to put it all back together now, and then you're good to go. So, open that back up. Let's see here. This thing's so dusty. Alright, so lift this up. I'm probably not going to be able to show this on camera, but pretty much you just do all the steps in reverse. So, put the little keyboard back in again. Alright, I'll make sure I clean out all that dust. Okay. Oh, let me make sure, since I opened the rest, that I put everything back the way it should be. Those are in. Make sure if you disconnected the battery to snap that back down. Okay, because you won't be able to do it later. And then, again, put it back at like 90 degrees laying on the screen. That's probably the easiest way. And then just do all of this in reverse. So, the cable, probably have to put the keyboard cable first. It's the longest, so you'll have the most slack after putting it back, and then you can still put the rest. So this I can't do while on camera, but you get the point. You put it back in, flip the little latches back, and then just do everything in reverse. So hopefully this video helped you. If it did, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye.